If you take a trip to Disney's California Adventure Park, you will undoubtedly come across a large white roller coaster sitting behind the giant Ferris wheel on the far side of the lagoon known as Paradise Bay. At first glance, the coaster may look like a Disney version of a white wooden roller coaster. But if you'll look closer, you'll notice that the ride is actually a steel roller coaster with the ever so versatile tubular steel track that Disney introduced decades ago with the Matterhorn bobsleds. The coaster was part of the park's original ride lineup when it first opened on February 8, 2001, and the ride was known as California Screamin', a reference to the song California Dreamin' by the Mamas and the Papas. At a length of 6,072 feet, California Screamin' was the 8th longest coaster in the world and the 3rd longest coaster in the United States when it opened in 2001. The ride was also the Disneyland Resort's first coaster to feature an inversion. One of Disney's fastest attractions, California Screamin' accelerated riders from 0 to 55 miles per hour in 4 seconds with its linear induction motor, or LIM, launch system. In addition to the beginning of the ride, a second LIM system is also used midway through the ride to pull riders up a lift hill. And speaking of screaming, Disney incorporated tunnels in certain sections of the ride to block riders' screams and reduce noise complaints from nearby Anaheim residents. California Screamin's original rider safety spiel was recorded by voiceover artist D. Bradley Baker, but was replaced with one from actor Neil Patrick Harris in 2010. The ride also featured a soundtrack performed by surf guitar veteran Gary Hoey and composer George Wilkins. As part of the California Adventure refurbishment, the Mickey Mouse head located behind the ride's vertical loop changed to a sunburst icon with the Paradise Pier logo in 2007. But that refurbishment wasn't the end of the changes for California Screamin'. In July 2017, Disney announced that it would be completely renovating Paradise Pier and changing it to Pixar Pier. To keep in step with the retheming, Disney would be changing California Screamin' to the Incredicoaster, featuring Pixar's The Incredibles. The retheming would incorporate a storyline and various dark ride elements throughout the coaster ride. January 7th, 2018 was the last day that the coaster operated as California Screamin', and Disney allowed guests to stay late to get their last rides in. When the last 2 coaster trains were loaded up with riders at the end of the evening, 1 red train and 1 yellow train, cast members held a scream-off to determine who would be the last people to ride California Screamin'. After riders had screamed their loudest, cast members determined that the red train was the loudest and would get to take the last ride. After months of construction, the ride reopened on June 23, 2018 as the Incredicoaster. Through posters and a video in the line for the Incredicoaster, riders learned that the city of Municiberg has honored the Incredibles by building them a roller coaster. But not everyone can ride, so Edna Mode and Baby Jack Jack, not being tall enough for the coaster, are forced to watch the fun from the VIP room. After boarding their train and leaving the station, riders roll by the VIP room and watch as Edna Mode loses track of Baby Jack Jack when he teleports away. After riders travel under a section of Pixar Pier and come to a stop, the par's other son, Dash, tells riders to face forward and hold on before he counts down to the launch. The Incredicoaster's LIM system then engages and sends riders hurtling down the track and up the first hill. Water sprays from the sides of the track to simulate the effects of a superhero running across the Paradise Bay at super speeds. When riders ascend the first hill, they enter a tunnel with the ride's first dark ride scene, featuring Dash and Violet trying to catch Jack Jack, who has laser beams shooting from his eyes. Riders then exit the tunnel and make their way to the right around a brake run. Following the brake run, the train dips and then rolls onto the second hill where a second LIM system grabs it and continues pulling it up the hill and into the second tunnel. In the second tunnel, Elastigirl stretches and tries to grab Jack Jack while he phases through the tunnel wall before Mr. Incredible, who has burst through the tunnel, unsuccessfully tries to entice the super baby with a cookie num num. After leaving the second tunnel, riders drop and bank to the left before making their way to the right around a 3/4 turn. After the turn, the train dips and enters the ride's vertical loop before entering the third tunnel. In the third tunnel, riders are surrounded by flames created by Jack Jack, while Violet projects a protective bubble from the end of the tunnel to prevent riders from being singed. After exiting the tunnel, riders cross under the first brake run and turn right, making their way around the outside of it. The track then banks to the left and crosses under the first tunnel before entering a series of airtime bunny hop hills where baby Jack Jack has made duplicates of himself. This section is located directly atop the Midway Mania 3D Dark Ride. Next, the train enters a 270-degree downward spiral, where the coaster's camera snaps a series of photos before stopping at the final brake run. The coaster train then makes a left turn and passes by the last scene where baby Jack Jack has increased in size and been calmed down with a cookie from Edna Mode. The train then returns to the station where passengers unload and new riders board. So, if an Incredibles-themed roller coaster ride sounds like it's right up your alley, hold on tight because here's a first-person perspective of what it's like to ride the Incredicoaster.
Edna, keep your eye on Jack Jack. No problem, darling. And the baby is gone. Edna?
Dash, go get him!
Head back, face forward, and hold on! 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
The baby is teleported to the next tunnel. Got it. Hey, sweetie. Come on. No. Jack Jack.
Nut cookie! Cookie!
He's in the tunnel on fire. I heard him. Use your force field. Come get him. Oh, the little one returns. Oh, thank goodness. Tremendous accomplishment. The Edna's so proud. Sorry that got a little crazy, baby. Unpredictable. Yeah, Mom. Super babies.
Okay, so they're doing a scream off.
So first it's gonna be Team Yellow. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
There's the yellow car. Or train.
Team Red, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, I think that one won. Looks like they're going last. Yellow, sorry you lost. Red won. There you go, yellow. Second to last. There goes red. Hey, quiet.